The worst cat treats are filled with junk. They're made by the same companies that make junk food for humans, so it makes sense that they would also be filled with junk. That's why they're cheap cost. They don't have great ingredients, very, very low in meat-based protein, mostly fillers, mostly carbs. Hey friends, it's Jess Jericho, and the first worst cat treat that we're going to look at is Greenies. So the product name rule here is oven roasted chicken flavor. That word flavor means that there is 0% minimum requirement of chicken, and it's guaranteed less than 3%. If it was at least 3%, the product name would say with chicken instead of chicken flavor. So let's take a look at the ingredients. First, we have chicken meal. So right there, that word meal indicates that it's a rendered ingredient. And rendered ingredients can include 4D meats, which means dead, diseased, dying, or disabled. As always, there are resources in the description below. Please always do your own research. Next, we have ground wheat, brewer's rice, corn gluten meal. So 3 ingredients right there within the first 5 are completely inappropriate for cats. Cats do not eat carbs in the wild. They certainly would not hunt for rice or corn gluten meal. Next, we have poultry fat. So right there, that is a red flag because poultry could mean chicken, could mean turkey. We have no idea because the manufacturer doesn't even have an idea. Next, oat fiber. Natural poultry flavor. Again, that's a mystery. You want to see specifically named ingredients rather than just the blanket terms. Ground flaxseed, brewer's dried yeast, and then it looks like a majority of the rest of the ingredients are added vitamins and minerals. So we don't really see any whole meat in this product. There's meal and fat and flavor. That's not like whole, nutritious muscle meat that cats need. And the carb amount is approximately 37% on a dry matter basis. That's like more than 3 times the amount of the cat's natural diet. And it's very interesting that these are marketed as dental treats because they're very high in carbohydrates. Cats lack the enzyme called amylase in their saliva, so they can't properly break down carbohydrates in their mouth. So if they can't properly break down carbohydrates in their mouth, how can a high carbohydrate treat be good for their dental health? The next worst cat treat that we'll look at is Temptations. So here we have the same product name rule, tasty chicken flavor. So that word flavor again means between 0 and 2.9% chicken. Next, we'll look at the ingredients. Chicken byproduct meal. Again, another rendered ingredient, and byproducts could mean literally anything. Instead of saying chicken liver, chicken heart, which are technically byproducts, they use the blanket terms. So you don't really know what pieces of chicken that is. And again, meal indicates that it's a rendered ingredient, which could include those 4D meats. So again, we don't see actual whole chicken meat in this product. Next, ground corn, not suitable for cats. Animal fat. So this right here is an absolute mystery. The previous one that we looked at least it said poultry flavor and poultry fat, so it narrows it down to a couple different animals. But this one just says animal fat. So again, in the resources in the description, there's a report for Congress on the animal rendering industry. And it states that most of the rendered ingredients do come from processing plants, but they could also come from dead animals, from ranches, farms, marketing barns, feedlots, and even animal shelters. So this is why you want to avoid mystery meats like this, because animal fat could literally mean any type of animal. The manufacturer clearly doesn't know which one they're using, so that's why they just put animal fat. Next, we have brewer's rice, wheat flour, not suitable for cats, dried meat byproducts. So here we have another mystery. What type of meat? Is it lamb? Is it chicken? Is it cow? Is it deer? Is it pig? Unfortunately, could be cat or dog. Rachel Ray's dog food had dog DNA in it. Then natural flavors, brewer's dried yeast, and the rest, basically except for dried cheese, look like added vitamins and minerals. And this one is also approximately 37% carbs on a dry matter basis. So again, we have no actual whole nutritious meat in the product. Mostly leftovers, ground down, pressurized and heated multiple times with a bunch of corn and yeast. The next worst cat treat that we're going to look at is called Blue Buffalo Wilderness, and we have the same product name rule here, trout flavor. So that trout composition is going to be less than 3%. If it had at least 3%, it would say with trout instead of trout flavor. So this one, the ingredients are a little cut off. So we have trout. That's the first whole meat that we've seen so far. Chicken meal. At least they're specific about which type of animal, but that meal again is a rendered ingredient. So that doesn't tell us much about the quality. Well, I guess it kind of does. If it could be 4D meats, then that's not good quality. Next, potato starch, peas, brewer's dried yeast, chicken fat, natural flavor, and then some added minerals and preservatives. So this one has a shorter ingredients list. I'll give them that. But the only whole meat that we see on this product, trout, we know that it's less than 3% of the entire product, because if it was at least 3%, it would be called with trout instead of trout flavor. So that's why it's super important not only to read the ingredients, but also understand the product name rules, because those rules tell you how much of the composition is of the named ingredient. It's also very important to calculate the approximate carbohydrates using the guaranteed analysis, because guess what? AFCO does not require carbohydrates on the guaranteed analysis. So we have to do that work ourselves. I have a calculator on my website. That link is in the description below. You just put the numbers in, it does it for you. But these treats have approximately 43% carbs on a dry matter basis. This one's higher than the previous that we looked at. So this is about 4 times the amount that cat would naturally eat. So I'm sure you're wondering, what are healthy treats? Healthy treats are freeze-dried, raw, or dehydrated muscle meats and organs. You can check out this video right over Mia for more healthy cat treat options. Thanks for watching.